Sales guy wasting my time with lies? Okay, get up that ladder. I was looking for a bicycle as a birthday gift for my fiancée one year. I had a pretty nice mountain bike that I had gotten a fantastic deal on. It was one of those once-in-a-lifetime eBay scores on a brand that had been bought out by a giant corporation, and I basically got it for 80% off retail. It was a $2,400 model that I got for around $450. She tried it, and loved how light it was, 24 pounds, and said she'd join me on the trails if she had a bike like that. So, I went shopping. There weren't any small bike stores around us, so I ended up in one of those giant category killer sports box stores. I had about $500 to spend and wanted to get the best bang for the buck I could. I had done a fair amount of research on how different component levels and materials affected the weight and cost of a bike. There was a lot of trade-off trying to get decent components while not adding too much weight. I spotted one that seemed to have a good balance of features to weight, but it was way up high on one of those two-story bike towers the big stores have. It took forever to find an employee to ask about it. I finally found one and asked the sales guy how much the bike weighed. He said, about 10 pounds or so. I knew at that point anything he said was going to be BS. A 10-pound road bike could be upwards of $10,000 or more. I told him I doubted it was 10 pounds, but he said super confidently that he knew a lot about the bikes. Thinking he had a sale, he started slinging a lot of buzzwords and half-made-up lingo at me in a kind of condescending tone. I was pretty pissed at the time I already wasted looking for help, and the clear lies I was now being fed. I figured I'd play along. So, I kept asking dumb questions about components and performance, and he kept throwing bogus info at me. So I figured it was time to get the bike on the ground. I told him I was really interested and asked if he could get it down off the rack. It meant getting one of those giant rolling ladders, maneuvering it between the tall racks without hooking it on the other bikes. It was kind of a feat too for him to get up there, and a struggle to free it from the rack as it was easy to get it tangled on the other bike's handlebars, cables, and components. It took him about 10 minutes of finagling, and he had to get back down to move the ladder twice. He was pretty sweaty by the time he got down to the floor with the bike. It was pretty obvious that the 10-pound bike weighed a lot more than he said it did. I looked it over, acting all interested, and went to lift it to feel the weight. It was probably close to 30 pounds. I told him I was interested in another one up in the rack to compare, so back up he went. We repeated this 2 more times, and when I had 3 bikes in front of me I told him, nah, I'm just not interested in any of them because they were definitely not anywhere close to 10 pounds. I thanked him for his time and expertise, and left a very rumpled and sweaty salesman with the task to now carry those bikes back up to stow them away.